Hello and welcome to Morris Park. I'm Clyde Morris. And today I'm going to bring you the potting, or the potted, plants that Anna sent me in her awesome box that I received the other day. This is the Opuntia Santa Rita hybrid baby Rita. I really love this for the purple. Looks like I got my fingers in that a little much. I kind of rubbed off some of the blue, I guess. But anyhow, still look really nice. Now later on I may experiment with this plant. I've been reading up on it and it says that it's good in zone 5 and 6. So, we live in zone 6. And I think as long as I kept it dry, it might be good outside. Although we do get pretty cold. So in the future, if it's got an offset or a branch I can take from it, I may try that out. Now up here is the Opuntia aurea. This one will definitely take the cold here. I saw it planted at the St. Louis Botanical Gardens. So I'm certain on that. And behind here, we have the Opuntia Pina Colada. And this one's really cool because it blooms yellow flowers the first day that turn pink the next day. Lots of glow kids. But this one will definitely take the outdoors. It's already proven. I have one from Anna I've had for a couple of years. It's had a little rough time with rust, and I'm trying to bring it out of it now. But it's always survived the cold really well. There we go. The 3 Opuntias. Now this is kind of a group planting I did with some of the cuttings that Anna sent me. I had a few other plants that needed some space to grow, and I thought they'd make good additions. But anyhow, there's a couple of little Echinopsis offsets. Trichocereus. Another Trichocereus there. The Ostrosolendra Opuntia. I haven't buried this one too deep. It's just kind of sitting on top of the soil with some of the rock around it. Since the cut was still fairly fresh, I didn't want to bury it down the soil. I think it'll sense that there's soil underneath it, and it should root pretty well. Another little Bivia. And this is one I got from Lowe's that needed a place to go. I think it was Hertlingicereus, Hertlingianus, or something like that. I think they've changed actually the genus name. So I'm not sure now. Hertlingianus, I think, is the variety still. And this cactus here is Fred. Now Fred came from one of my old co-workers from years ago, Mr. Fred Bedard. And his plant was actually as tall as I am. It was about 6 feet tall, actually a little taller. And it was touching the ceiling in his sunroom, and the tip broke off. So he brought it to me, and this is it. Actually, the one tip I broke into 2 pieces. Got this really cool cactus. But it was falling over in its pot. The pot was too small for the top load. It kept falling over. So I thought this would be a good place to put it. Now this awesome pot came from my sister and my brother-in-law, Kathy and Brian Paul. They gave this to me for my birthday. And just made a perfect pot for all this. Nice stoneware, nice and earthy. The blue colors matching. Really an awesome one. So that worked out real well with the cuttings that Anna sent me. I think they'll do real well in there. I won't water them for a couple of weeks. I'll just kind of let them sit in there and settle in. Some of these have just a little bit of roots, some not. And they should start forming roots within a couple of weeks. Now this one I did is another group planting. No, the tephro cactus didn't just grow overnight and cluster up like that Anna gave me. But here's what I did. This center one, center cluster, I bought back in the springtime at Lowe's. And I wanted to set it into a little staging. So when Anna sent me this cutting and this cutting, I thought that would really make a nice cluster if it just all filled in together. And the one in back here, right here, Anna actually sent me that about 2 years ago. It's grown a couple segments since then. So it made a real nice cluster. I really like these tephros when they're in a fat cluster like this. It looks awesome. Especially all staged up. Very cool. Paper spines are one of my old childhood favorites. Years and years ago, a story with this. Echinopsis and these paper spine cactus I found together when I was a kid. My parents were into dog shows, and we had a dog show at the fairgrounds in Yuma, Arizona, next to the Marine base there. And there were some old dilapidated, like polytunnels or Quonset huts or whatever you want to call them. And all the benches had kind of rotted away and everything. And all over the ground of these little Quonset huts were Echinopsis and paper spine cacti, where offsets and such had been broken off, and I don't know if it's from a cactus show being held there or what, but it broken off and hit the ground, and they were growing everywhere. So these are some of the first cactus I got a hold of. We dug some of these up, of course, and took them home, and I had them for quite a while when I was young. But yeah, they've always been a favorite. Really cool. Tephros are awesome. Thanks for making this a great cluster, Anna. Now this is the two hanging cacti, and the Echinocerius pentalophus, and this is the Cleistocactus, and the species slips me right now. But what I've done, I haven't buried them in soil. I've just kind of set them on top of the soil. I haven't put any top dressing or anything on it because the cuts are still fairly fresh on these plants. I did notice some roots on these cuttings of the Echinocerius. So I've just got it kind of sitting on there. I just spray them just a little bit, mist one of them here and there. And maybe they'll sense the moisture, but I'm not going to water it for a while. I don't want to bury the cuts for quite a while in fear of actually rotting them. I want them to cure up pretty good and callus. And in that time that they're sitting on top of the ground, they'll probably root up. Like I said, this one actually has like little nubs from roots that are starting already underneath it from where it was cut. So anyhow, when they finally root, I'll put some top dressing in there, and that'll be in this hanging display here. I'm hoping that even though this one's cut, that it might throw that flower out anyway. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Now, here's the last three. And this is the Seti Echinopsis mirabilis. If you look, that bud still looks pretty good. I'm still seeing kind of that greenish color through it. So I'm pretty sure it's going to do something, I hope, maybe. Fingers crossed on that one. There's a little Tephro-Cactus articulatus strobilliformis, a little spruce cone. And it had some tiny roots started on it, so it's probably on its way. And there's the seedlings of the Thelocactus setaspinus. Put them in a nice little stoneware pot there. I did not separate the three as they were very tightly interwoven in the roots. I did loosen the root ball a little bit, but I did not want to tear them up too bad. And it was very tight. So I went ahead and just left them alone. As I say, just kind of picked the roots apart a little bit so I could get a start out. And left them how they are. But yeah. Last three little gems there. Very nice. Again, Anna, thank you very much for these awesome plants. I've made some awesome stagings and really enriched my collection. Thank you very much. And everybody else, thank you very much for watching. This is Clyde Morris from Morris Park. Have a nice day.